While fans have a large variety of opinions on wrestlers, there are clear examples of those who are most hated and loved in 2020. We check them here. Every pro wrestling fan has their favorite wrestlers and the ones they don't like, that's for sure. On the current roster of WWE, there are several wrestlers who are unconditionally loved by the fans, who always support them, through thick and thin. However, there are also a good number of wrestlers who try to win the love of the public, but what they get is boos and hatred. This year, some wrestlers suddenly became the public's favorites, but there are also some who have been hated for several years and fans have not changed their opinion of them. 10. Hated, King Corbin. Possibly, King Corbin is the most hated wrestler in the WWE, as he has become one of the most hated heels in the industry. Obviously, he has earned the hatred of fans since that feud with Roman Reigns, and the truth is that he has relatively few supporters. Throughout this year, the company did not place him in winning positions, since he's the wrestler with the most losses this year. So, presumably the fans are happy with his losing streak in the ring. 9. Loved, Drew McIntyre. The Chosen One had a fantastic year, both in and out of the ring, as he was almost invincible and gained millions of followers. This is easily the best year in Drew McIntyre's entire professional career. In 2019 he did not win any championship, but in 2020 he won the WWE Championship twice, including an incredible title reign of 213 days. McIntyre is a true winner, and that is why people love him so much. 8. Hated, Randy Orton. Some things never change, and Randy Orton will always be hated. One of the best heels in WWE history, the perfect villain for many years, of course he is one of the most hated wrestlers, not only this year but in this century. However, Orton is a dedicated performer, who has given a lot to the industry and to the wrestling world. He does not care about insults or boos, he just goes to the ring and does his job. His work is admirable, but that does not mean that he is among the favorite wrestlers of the fans. 7. Loved, Bayley. Bayley is among the most dominant women of this era, and no one doubts her great talent or the admirable work that Pamela Rose Martinez, her real name, has done with her character. Even though she betrayed her partner Sasha Banks and turned heel, Bayley is still one of WWE's most beloved wrestlers, because she just always does a great job and is worth seeing her in the ring. This was Bayley's 8th year in the industry, and fans should be grateful to her for all of her dedication. 6. Hated, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has always impressed the fans, who are always on the lookout for his matches. After all, he is a giant who went through the Ultimate Fighting Championship and also won the UFC heavyweight title. However, that doesn't mean fans really like the Beast incarnate, as many criticize him for having no charisma, insufficient wrestling skills, and many other things. Lesnar has a lot of supporters, that's for sure, but the truth is that he's been among the most hated wrestlers for some time. 5. Loved, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is someone who always gives 100% in her performances. She is very humble and likes to interact with fans, at least on the social network Twitter, where she responds frequently. Plus, Alexa did a great job this year on each of her storylines. However, 5 Feet of Fury has only won 7 matches this year and has not won a singles title since 2018. Obviously, the fans are not happy with that situation, as they want to see Alexa Bliss succeed. 4. Hated, Seth Rollins. One of the best things about WWE this 2020 was Seth Rollins, who has done an excellent job as a heel. However, the same fans who clamored for this turn heel now hate and criticize Rollins. I don't know what changed except for the fact that I became the person that they wanted me to be, and then they hated me for it. So, you know, it's a very fickle audience. It is what it is," said Rollins during an episode of Corey Graves' podcast, After the Bell. 3. Loved, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns came to WWE in 2012, and since then he has worked very hard to become what he is today, the top face of the industry, the head of the table. In recent years, Reigns has become one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he has fans in every corner of the globe. Even though the big dog turned heel and his character has turned evil, arrogant and obnoxious, he still has an untold number of supporters, and everyone loves to watch his matches. 2. Hated, Nia Jax. Despite being in WWE for 6 years, Nia Jax doesn't have many supporters for some reasons. First of all, she lacks charisma, which is a prime requirement for fans to like her. Second, her performances have been weak, both on the mic and in the ring. The Irresistible Force has everything to be successful in the industry, but she needs to improve a lot and finally win the support of fans to become a true superstar. 1. Loved, Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is one of the most charismatic women on the current roster, and it is very difficult not to become fond of her, since for a couple of years she has been among the most popular wrestlers in the world. Also, the boss is very talented and always meets the expectations. Sasha Banks' last 2 months were magnificent, heroically defeating Bayley to end the longest SmackDown Women's title reign in history and defeating the mighty Asuka at Survivor Series 2020. So, the fans must be very happy about it.